In 2001, casino businessman Steve Wynn bought a Picasso. 5 years later, he decided to sell it to Steve Cohen, and a representative of the buyer came out, looked at the painting, everything was a go. All that was left was to exchange the money and the painting. Well, some friends came to see Steve Wynn just before he was to give that painting away, and they wanted to see the painting, and so he took them up there to view it. And as he was showing them, he got too close to the painting, he gestured, and he put his elbow right through the painting, tore it. The deal was off. That's a perfect picture of what sin does, because so many people say, well, I can't be that bad because I've done a lot of good. I do a lot of good things. So how in the world can I be bad enough that God would say the deal is off between me and him? Well, the truth is we're masterpieces. We are created in God's design. It says it at the beginning of the Bible, where it says we're created in the image of God. So how in the world could we go so wrong that would make a division between us and God, that would end that relationship? And the truth is, we are those beautiful failures. We are that masterpiece that has the hole in it. And no matter how good we might be or how many good things we might do, it still doesn't change the fact that there's a hole in the middle of us, a sin hole that has ruined the masterpiece. Now, here's the truth. We don't want to see it that way. People don't want to hear that. What they want is for God to just accept them however they are, and they don't have to change anything. They don't have to be anything different. They can just be themselves, and that should be good enough, right? They say things like, hey, if Christ can't accept me as I am, I don't want that. Or they say, hey, God made me this way. And if God made me this way, it can't be wrong. But the truth is, we poked a hole in the masterpiece. And unless we are fixed, the deal is off. Unless there's a restoration, there is no way that we get to spend eternity with God. Here's the thing, that Wynn Picasso, it eventually did get fixed. It got repaired. It cost $90,000 to get repaired. And a few years later, it was sold to the same guy, to Steve Cohen. He bought that Picasso years later after it had been restored. Also a really good picture of our relationship with God. Unless it is restored, unless the sin issue is dealt with, there is no deal between us and God. And the great news is that he, as our designer, as our creator, as the maker of the masterpiece, he is the one that puts us back together again. He's the one that fixes the sin problem. He's the one that restores us to the design he always intended for us. So yeah, our sin is bad enough, but the great news is his restoration is greater than any wrong we could ever do if we'll just admit it.